Welcome to PrideTime. I'm Gilberto Pinela. Today we visit with Artistic Director of Cinema St. Louis and presenter of the now popular QFest, an annual film festival that showcases the best LGBTQIA films in the nation and the world. And that is Chris Clark. But first, let's take a look at some of the highlights of a recent visit that we did to A Tasteful Affair, the much anticipated annual fundraiser for food outreach, where food and community come together for a great cause.
A lot of what I've learned about treatment with HIV or cancer is that you need to be fed properly. So from the ground up, that gives people more of a fighting chance for the medications to work, for a sense of wellness to happen. If you're hungry, you're not going to be very happy, you know. So it's important. I think it's offering a lot with the volunteer opportunities, even to give back to people's self-esteem, make them feel like they can make a change even if you don't have a lot in your pocketbook.
When you're ill, the last thing you want to have to worry about is where your next meal is coming from, and nutrition is extremely important to people who, especially if they're sick. So food outreach provides that gap.
I know that there are a lot of people affected by HIV, AIDS, cancer, that this economy is very hard for many people that I know and am around. So in essence, I do know them because they're my fellow citizens of, St. Louis.
I have a friend who at times did not have a job and was unable to provide food for himself, and they filled in and were able to take over while he needed the services.
Actually, I know tons of people who are clients, but I'm actually a client myself.
I am personally involved because a good friend of mine, Rob Thurman, drew me in about 5 years ago for Tasteful Affair. So it's a big event every year to help raise money for the Hot Lunch program. And I take a sense of pride in coming out and dressing up and getting involved that way.
It started about 10 years ago when I became a client with them. And I love the organization, so I started volunteering all the time and helping in the kitchen or the warehouse or anything else. And then over a period of time, things changed and I couldn't get down there as often necessarily. But now I do a lot of guest bartending for them in different organizations. I have fun at their events, if anything.
They are a great organization. They have very little overhead. They provide services for a wide range of people suffering from various diseases, cancer and HIV, and they just do an excellent job, and that's why I support them so much.
Kathy Spencer is the coordinator for volunteers. She helps or tells anyone when they especially need someone to help, and she'll set you up, she'll work you through or guide you through everything. And then anybody at the organization, that day that you're there, if she's not there to help you or see you through, we'll guide you the rest of the way through it also. It's really, really easy. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Welcome back to Pride Time. Today we talk awareness via filmmaking with Chris Clark, Artistic Director of Cinema St. Louis. And Chris, welcome to the show. Very happy that you're here today. But I want to jump right in and ask you, what is Cinema St. Louis, and of course, QFest?
Very happy to be here, Gilberto. Cinema St. Louis is a nonprofit arts organization whose cultural mission is to promote cross-cultural understanding through the art of the cinema, or movies, film, whatever you want to call it. Our main event is the 21-year-old St. Louis International Film Festival. We do other events throughout the year. We have a classic French film festival, a local filmmakers event in July called the St. Louis Filmmaker Showcase. But we're here tonight to talk about QFest, which is a 5-year-old event dedicated to the LGBT community.
Okay, and you have different films from all over the world. You had some from St. Louis this year. But tell me a little bit about the kind of films, the quality of films that you present at, via QFest.
QFest is, fits very nicely into our overall cultural mission, and we look for films that speak to all aspects of the LGBT alphabet and all aspects of the community. And what I do is throughout the course of the year, from festival to festival, is I'll look at award winners of other LGBT festivals. I travel to a few international festivals throughout the year, and I look for films that are unique, that aren't the easiest possible path. They might not be, the teen comedy with the boys coming out, things that are just, that makes people from our community just look like they have normal problems and normal lives. And films that are empowering. One documentary we did this year was about activist Vito Russo, which was just a tremendous film, and ultimately won our Audience Choice Award. We always have, about a third or so of the films are from foreign countries to give local audiences a taste of what it would be like to be themselves in Belgium, or we had a film from Italy. Past years we've had films from Thailand and Spain and all over the world, and ultimately we do have the same issues.
A great mix of films. Any memorable films for you?
Oh, there's several. I could talk about them all forever. There was one just ridiculously low rent, silly film. It was a comedy called, it's a very long title, Codependent Lesbian Space Alien Seek Same. And it's just so silly, but the writing was so very sly and so very clever that it just covered a lot of ground. You could tell they didn't spend a lot of money on the sets, but the actors were very good and the writing was very good.
That's awesome. I really enjoy the festival every time it comes here, and the different films that you bring, even in foreign languages, they're really fun to watch, and they're very educational. So I want to ask you, how positive is to have QFest present here in St. Louis?
I think it's, the icing on the cake of community events. There's so many big things like Pride and different fundraiser things that happen. But this is, everybody loves films. And what's great about our organization has been around long enough that all the audiences aren't, it's not just for gay people. Okay. It's not just for lesbians, or it's not just for anybody can go. And we have, because of our position in the arts community, people hear about these events, and lots of people come to see the different films. And I don't look for films that just have naked people running around and acting silly. These are films that are empowering, and it makes everybody look more just like everybody else, which is the point of it all.
So quickly before we go to break, it's making a positive impact in the community, you think?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay.
I work very hard to make it happen that way.
Once again, say what kind of impact QFest is having in our community, both, like you said, in the LGBTQIA community, but also in the straight community as well, is building bridges and doing all that good stuff. And what's in store for next year?
It gives the community, because everybody loves film, everybody loves cinema, so it's a sense of community and empowerment that, we can have films about people in our community having normal lives and normal problems with their boyfriends, girlfriends, silly jobs. We have the same issues because we're human beings, and that's what the point of it all is. We had some great guests. There were a lot of films with St. Louis connections in the festival this year, which was really wonderful. This was our 5th anniversary, so it's sort of a nice, still a small number.
What is that anniversary, the 5th one? It's not the paper one, right? Do you remember? Silver? Whatever.
No, it's not silver.
It's not silver.
But
anyway,
it is a nice milestone that's heading quickly towards the double digits, and had a great bit more visibility from year to year, and the name of the event has been branded more thoroughly. And I did notice throughout the year, or throughout the event, which was 5 days last month, that it wasn't just the gay community coming out. There was, all are welcome.
So is the attendance growing?
Yes, steadily, a little bit every year, and that's is helping propel itself. And it just, it's a nice, fun event.
And I know that this year you had it at the Tivoli. That's such a beautiful theater.
Yes, it's one of the main places that Cinema St. Louis and the St. Louis Film Festival, that's our main base where we present films. And the main theater is just so beautiful and so glorious. And when the guests from out of town would walk in, it's like a cathedral. Yes. Cathedral to film. They were just so humbled by the wonderful experience. And the Loop, the weather was so nice, and the Loop was vibrant. And people just felt so very welcomed by not just by the city and by the film. They were staying in the Moonrise Hotel, so it was a great, wonderful experience for everyone.
It is a fabulous week. A lot of red carpet, a lot of directors come in, also the actors show up, and it's just, the atmosphere is so awesome. Chris, the atmosphere was so great. I always enjoy the festival, but listen, I want to ask you, what is in store for next year, and how can we be a part of QFest and everything that Cinema St. Louis offers. And how can we contribute too? That's very important.
I like that question. Well, I can't look quite that far into my crystal ball just yet because I don't know what films are being in the works and what will be on offer. But what I do is I look for films that a lot of the LGBT festivals are in the summertime around PrideTime. So I'll examine all of their programs and look at films that may have won awards throughout the year. And then I'll go to a big festival in Palm Springs in January where I find a couple of fresher films. So I'll just look, for the very, very best things I can offer that haven't been to town yet, things that I think that people in town will respond to and appreciate. The event is just 5 years old, so we're going to be, I guess, in grade school next year. We'll be six. So we have a Facebook page, QFest St. Louis. All the information is always on the Cinema St. Louis webpage. During the International Film Festival, which happens in November, I always do a small teaser section called the QFest Sidebar, which will be films that pop up on the festival circuit in the fall. With LGBT films.
So if we want to contribute, once again, because that's very important, I mean, this is not, just money falling out of trees. You depend on the generosity of people too to come and participate in the festival. Where do we go? What's the website again?
cinemastlouis.org, cinemastlouis.org. They can find me through that site. And ticket sales are very important, and tickets aren't always cheap. They're like $10 or $12, but we have to rent theaters and fly in directors and buy hotel rooms and a lot of expenses. So we need a lot more money than just what the ticket sales will bring in. So every little dollar helps because we want to make it as big and splashy and bright and respectful and wonderful and fabulous and whatever word you can think of as we can. And we want to have the very best films too. And sometimes they cost money because the filmmakers want to make a living too.
Yeah, they want to make a living.
And of course I respect that.
And it is a great festival. I mean, why not spend $10 going to the movie theater, a beautiful place like the Tivoli or the High Point, and also giving money to a worthy cause because, QFest is teaching people to be more tolerant. It's educating the community about what the LGBTQIA community goes through on a daily basis. As you mentioned before, is something that everybody goes through. It's not particular to any community or to any segment of our population, and it's just overall a great atmosphere once again to be in the moonrise with the moon on top and the sky view of St. Louis. It's just a very positive experience right here in St. Louis. So I hope that you continue not only with the 6, but with the 26. Next, continue with the QFest.
I won't stop until they make me stop.
There you go. And that's the way we like it.
Thank you so
with
much.
Cinema St. Louis. And we're going to leave you. Until next time, this is Pride Time. I'm Gilberto Pinela, and keep it right here on STL TV.